Hi, you guys. So happy Juneteenth. I'm coming to you with a story that I hope inspires other Black Americans to realize that slavery is over, my dear. You don't have to act like a slave anymore. Okay? So here's the story. Earlier this year, I took a substitute teaching job, a long term substitute teaching job, in which I was a co teacher in a second grade class for about 2.5 months. Okay. Now, I had the pleasure of substituting at the elementary school I used to go to as a kid, the elementary school I graduated from, and they're actually closing that school. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to teach there before they closed the school. It was like very surreal walking through those walls again. Nevertheless, this story is going to show how Black people have fell in love with the white man's dollar. And I'm saying that because a white man is literally on the dollar so much. And Black people, there are still many Black people who still act like slaves so much that stuff like what I'm about to say is allowed to happen, and our children are hurting at the expense of it. So I wasn't going to tell anybody the story. I was going to keep it to myself, but this is a great story to tell. There was one day in which we had to move out of our classroom. Now, mind you, our classroom had 25 kids. That's why I had two teachers in there. I was there to help her with the behavior problems. So, this one particular day, they moved us in the cafeteria because they needed to use our classroom for testing. Okay, so it was our class and a lot of other classes in the cafeteria this day. And so me and my co-teacher, we broke up the classes. It was two. So she took like 10, and I took the rest, something like that. You get what I mean? Okay. I had a student in my class. I'm going to call her Chloe. Chloe was something else. Now, I ain't going to lie. Chloe was something else. Okay. Miss Chloe was something else. She's a beautiful young lady, very smart, very intelligent. But Miss Chloe did not like to listen sometimes. And then Miss Chloe liked to get her way. And then when Miss Chloe would get disciplined, Miss Chloe would have attitude, okay? But either way, I was working with Miss Chloe and I was trying to get her to get better at handling her emotions when she would get upset and get better at following directions because she reminded me so much of my younger self, okay? Now, on this particular day, I don't know what she did. She had went with the other teacher. She wasn't in my group, okay? I don't know what she did, but somehow she got in trouble. And there was a white teacher that was upset with her. And this white woman in this cafeteria in front of all these other Black teachers, including the dean of students, for some reason she happened to be in there when this happened. This white woman starts yelling at Chloe, telling her, I guess she wanted her to go somewhere else with her. So, but instead of her, saying it in a better way, she proceeds to yell at Chloe from a distance, saying, "Get up, get up, get up." She was yelling at her like that, saying, "Get up," multiple times. The girl wasn't moving. The girl had clearly became shocked. She was like in fear, and she was just sitting at the table crying. So my student is being yelled at by my Black student is being yelled at by a white woman. The white woman is yelling at her saying, "Get up, get up, get up." I mean, loud to the point the whole cafeteria has stopped and look, and everybody's watching. And so I'm like, immediately I get in defense mode because Chloe, she's one of my babies. You get what I'm saying? And I know Chloe, and I know when it come time for correction, Miss Chloe don't like it, okay? So I was worried that Miss Chloe was gonna act the fool, okay? But she actually didn't. You can tell she was in fear. She was sitting at the table, literally both hands on the table, crying in fear while this white woman is yelling at her saying, "Get up." And don't you know, none of them other Black teachers said a thing. That irritated me, my spirit so bad. I got up out my seat and I walked over. At this point, the white lady had walked up. She's right where Chloe is. I stepped in the middle of the lady and Chloe. I said, don't. I said, "I got her. I'ma talk to her." I talked to Chloe and I'm like, "Chloe, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry you feel that way. And I wasn't trying to make her feel justified for not following directions, but I recognized that this young lady was in fear. See, when Chloe would act up with me, she act up, but she was never she never feared me. Okay, because she knew that Miss Hamlet was not going to. First of all, I never talked to none of my kids like that. Now I may have gotten them together, but I have never ever screamed at them like, get up, get up, get up. Like, never, never. So I knew that she was in fear. So I wanted to try to make her feel safe before she left to go with this woman. And she was saying, I don't want to go with her. She mean. And she's crying, crying, crying. And I just did not like how the lady was yelling at her. It felt it was a violent yell to me. It was violent. And none of the other teachers stepped in to say anything. So I stepped in between. I'm trying to calm her down because she knows me and she's familiar with me. And I'm like, it's okay. I was like, it's okay. Just follow directions, please. Everything will be okay. And so she's still crying. I don't want to go with Miss Such and Such. She's mean, da, 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 da. And I'm trying to hold back tears because I feel so bad for her. Like, I really did not even want to let her go with this lady, but I had to. I'm a long-term substitute. There's nothing I could really do. But what I wanted to try to do was to try to make her feel at least at ease, So she eventually gets up and she goes with the lady. I calmed her down. Okay. I immediately walk out of the cafeteria and I go to the bathroom and I have to hold back my tears because the way that girl was shaking, you guys, like she was literally shaking. The fear that she was feeling broke my heart. And it broke my heart even more that none of the black teachers had enough courage. And these are teachers who work for the school system. I was just a substitute. Now, they might terminate me from the program after, hearing me making this video. I don't even care. But let this be a lesson. Y'all black people still bowing down to white people at the expense of your own children is sad. It's sad. It's sad the way that no other black teacher stood up for that young lady that day. Had I not been there, I don't even know what would have happened. But I just thank God that I was there to comfort her and make her feel at ease before she had to leave and go somewhere with this lady. Don't you know, after this happened, that lady, she doubled back. And I think she was trying to check my temperature. She doubled back to me and she was saying, oh, I'm sorry that happened. These kids and da 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 da. And I just talked to her calmly. I'm looking her dead in her eye like, yeah, I see you. Yeah, I see you. I know you're trying to check my temperature, trying to see if I'm going to say something to somebody. Yeah, I just played it off. Yeah, it's okay. Y'all understand. Yeah, I know the kids are a handful. I'm not doubting that. Trust me. I had 25 of them. But one thing I will say is that we are the adults, okay? And when we are violent with children, that does not get them to behave. When we're verbally violent, that does not help the situation, okay? It does not. And that instilling fear in people to get them to do what you want them to do, that is classic slavery behavior. And the fact that so many black people will sit and see something like this happen at the fear of losing their precious dollar is the problem that still exists today that I wanted to point out. So on this Juneteenth, I challenge you black people to stop acting like some house slaves. Stop acting like some slaves who would do anything for $1 because you're so fearful of never having $1. Our children need to be protected, okay? And most importantly, we as a culture need to grow and evolve. And we cannot do it if many of y'all are still acting like this out of fear of losing a precious dollar given to you by whoever. Okay? So I hope this story blesses you. God bless you. And if my student, Chloe, happens to see this video, I love you, I miss you, and you better behave in 3rd grade, young ma'am. Okay? All right.